what kind of tournament starts games early. This whole DPL thing are full of sick admins, I tell ya. Guys, welcome back to DPL. We have a total of 8 games today, and it's 2 a.m. for me. We're going to be grinding, burning the midnight oil, as they say. So stick with me, as we're going to start off with the first best of 2 of the night, Wings Gaming, going up against VG Gaming Potential. I'm Mike Loris, going to be your caster for all 8 games. There's no need to go anywhere. Yeah, there's going to be Dota elsewhere, but let's be honest, where would you guys rather be right now? Watching Wings or doing anything else? Come on. Well, unfortunately for both these two teams, they're both not doing too hot. They are both kind of floating near the bottom of the standings. Well, let's just put it this way. With like 90%, like 95% of the games played right now, VG.P have 7 points. And IG, the number 1, have 18 points. So that's kind of the disparity we're working with here. So I mean, they're not really playing for all that much relevance, but that's okay, because I am starting to fall with Wings. Not because their play is extremely clean, but because their picks are freaking weird, man. They are doing some weird-ass stuff, and, I mean, I gotta hand it to Wings. When I see weird heroes, I kind of tend to root for the team. I'm gonna be honest, it's just how I roll. But, speaking of VG Gaming Potential, making a pretty good case for my love as well. Treant Protector and the Brewmaster as the opening. Not exactly your standard start. Now, Wings pick up Monkey King, as well as the Darkseer. Monkey King, I don't really have to go into that, I don't think. They did take out the Earth Spirit, so they are going to try to lock down the map themselves, keep it under their control. Darkseer more so a response to the Treant Protector more than anything else, and I think that's something we're probably going to be seeing a lot in the future, just an instant response. Oh, they have a Treant? Well, I'm going to grab the Darkseer, and I'm going to be okay with that. So yeah, I mean, not much to read into there from the Wings side. Do want to see what they're going to pair this Darkseer up with, though. Usually we see Darkseer go with those 4-position kind of aggressive tempo heroes, the Earth Spirits. Even with Ricky, you get the Ion Shell shenanigans. Monkey King is a little weaker in that regard. I mean, Ion Shell on the hero is still nice if you get 2 of them to stick on a support hero. Yeah, you can probably kill them, but you know, when is Monkey King actually just going to go ahead and give the enemy a hug? Part of what makes Monkey King powerful is his element of surprise from a range, and the fact that his range on his right clicks are so high. You know, he's kind of a ranged hero in that regard. So yeah, as far as hugging for Ion Shell, it's not something you'd really want to be doing, especially up against a Treant Protector. Let me tell you guys, you may want to hug a tree, but not this tree. This guy will kick your ass pretty much 9 times out of 10, regardless of what support hero you are. And even if you have Ion Shell on you, I'm not sure if you win that. It's going to be close if it's a level 1 Ion Shell. Both teams setting up for quite a bit of team fight, though. I mean, Treant Protector Overgrowth is, you know, not exactly the end-all, but, I mean, just look at the ultimates that we have on the board right now. Vac Wall, got Wukong's Command Overgrowth, as I said, and, of course, that Brewmaster split. Freshly buffed. They keep on, or Volvo, Ice Frog, I don't know, they keep on pushing that Demolish, I think it's called, on the Earth aspect. We're eventually going to get to a point where teams are like, alright, we got Brewmaster Ultimate, let's go push a tower, guys, because our Brewmaster does a lot of damage versus those structures. I don't know if we're there yet. Truth be told, this is the first time I'm seeing Brewmaster since the patch. Not exactly a common pick. Oh my god, they are going to do it! Yo, this is sick! VG Gaming Potential, my hat off to you. This is sick. Okay, so the Treant Protector doesn't seem incredibly in place right now, but you know, as far as a support is concerned, you have the Treant Protector, obviously, but now you have a Shadow Shaman. And Shadow Shaman, what he does is disable the hell out of you without doing that much damage, and Treant Protector, kind of the polar opposite of that. He will do a lot of damage, but have trouble keeping up with you. The two of them together actually work out pretty darn well. And of course, that Shadow Shaman, he has these fancy things called Mass Serpent Wards, which I know you guys can't really see because of the overlay, but I'm gonna assume you know what they do. They're pretty darn good towers. They are really good at it. VG Gaming Potential are gonna get some push out of their support role, something that is fairly unique. We don't really see the Chens and Enchantresses anymore. We occasionally see Enigma, but as a 4-position jungler with the intent of pushing, that's not really how Enigma is played. And we've seen Jakiro a couple of times, but those are usually, I'm not really sure if we would call those incredibly successful. So Yeah, I do want to see. This is also the first time I've seen Shadow Shaman in well, since he actually got like buffed substantially. I don't know when that buff was, but it was recent. So VG Gaming potential, they want Wings towers. Now Wings are kind of prepared for this insofar as they will be ready to drop those big team fight ultimates. Again, a Wukong's command on a tower, you'll be crazy to try to go for that, especially when there's a vacuum and a wall there to punish. It's really tough pushing into that. But what these two heroes do, Monkey and Darkseer, is that they are melee, and melee heroes don't really enjoy defending their towers. TA is not exactly what I would call a range hero either. I mean, sometimes you get a little bit of range on the TA, but if the push is going to be coming early, Templar Assassin is not exactly working with a wealth of range there, so it is going to be interesting to see how Wings actually deal with this. I mean, TA should have, you know, she works well with the Darkseer, so with the Monkey King's Chaos. Outside of that, a lot of disables. This blind on the Brewmaster from the Haze is going to be so bad for TA. You just can't do anything about that. And of course, Living Armor is pretty good up against TA as well. Large chunks of damage. I think they changed it so that refraction damage doesn't count as a separate instance of damage. I'm not 100% sure on that though. I know it used to be that when you hit with refraction, you would do your physical damage and you would do your refraction damage as two separate instances of damage. I'm not sure about that anymore, so even though it may be slightly better than I think up against Treant, but still you're working with large chunks of damage, not ideal up against Living Armor. And then VG.P run a Vengeful Spirit, most likely Core. This is going to be hard for Wings Gaming to defend. They are going to grab a Necrophos though, definitely an interesting pick. Looking at synergy with the team, it's mostly just going to be try to get some kind of cheap picks with the Darkseer initiation, like, you know, start initiation with the vacuum wall, try to kill off somebody, really anybody at that stage, and then, you know, kind of take the fight afterwards. As far as clearing the waves are concerned for the Wings side, Necrophos is not exactly going to be the best hero at that. Darkseer, Templar Assassin are both kind of average at doing that, and Darkseer needs time, Templar Assassin needs time, and also to get close with the creep wave, kind of dangerous. But yeah, it is going to be a very aggressive game from the VG Gaming potential side. I wonder if they're actually going to slide these lanes around anymore. I mean, I'm assuming Shadow Shaman's going to be played support, and so is the Treant Protector. I don't know. We may see something a little bit different here. You know, conventional wisdom would suggest they're looking for an off laner, but you could pretty easily put a Brewmaster in the off lane. And for VG Gaming, grab. We've seen a couple Vipers recently. Get that on the board, just a heavy hero with the Vengeful Spirit, a hero to start sieging with that Shadow Shaman. I wouldn't mind that. If they're really gonna go all in on these like timing pushes, then hell, I mean, why not Death Prophet, right? She's a hero that's still in Dota, right? Did they remove her? They might have removed her. We haven't seen her in a long time, but those type of heroes should be in the front of VG.P's mind. Dragon Knight also not too bad if you're gonna go for a little bit of a tankier route. Yeah, Wings Gaming, their damage is kind of mixed. A lot of magical damage, of course, from this Necrophos, as well as this Darkseer.
10 seconds remaining.
If they really, really want to be baller right now, you know what you do? You put the Brewmaster mid, and you have a good matchup versus, you know, whoever's there, Templar Assassin or Necrophos, and then you grab like a Broodmother or something like that, and VG.P just go full Cancer mode. Yeah, you can do that as well. Nature's Prophet. I'm just spitballing here, guys. The Venomancer is also pretty good for VG.P. This is going to be a game where for VG.P, they either have the game locked down by 20 minutes, or they're just not going to win at all. So, I mean, for me, who's going to be casting like 8 games in a row, these fast like 25-minute games, just blast them out. I can't say I'm too upset about that. It's better than like 70-minute into 70-minute into 70-minute slugfests, which are usually kind of boring, let's be honest, to watch. I mean, they're sometimes exciting, but usually they're just farming a lot with like 10 kills total. Feels bad, man, when you're staying up at 2 a.m., let me tell you. But Lion is the pick for the Wings Gaming side. More for them, a little bit of extra control. I don't really know if they're suited to deal with this push, though. They can now assertively deal with this Brewmaster. You do have that instant point-click Hex. Great up against the Brewmaster, who's going to want to... Oh, man, boring. To blink, clap, and then split, and then, you know, do his whole deal. So Lion is a powerful hero in that regard. But as far as being able to fight early and often, Wings may struggle. Now, they do have Mech Carrier. a mech carrier in the Darkseer. Templar Assassin gets online fairly early, and Necrophos with that scythe. Of course, maybe depend on his allies, of course, but a couple of those can definitely stop VG.P's push in their tracks. So it is going to be wings with a couple of tools, but as far as like a coddle level of counter push, they're not going to have to deal with that. VG Gaming don't really have a lot of summons in their push. The Serpent Wards aren't really summons. You can't target them with the Illuminate. Brewmaster summons don't really count since you don't target them with magic either. So the VG.P are working mostly with right clicks and a couple of utility ultimates, let's say.
10 seconds remaining.
But Shadow Fiend ultimate, Shadow Fiend last rather is fine. I mean, he does a lot of damage versus structures. He's probably one of the most conventional structure-killing heroes, especially coming from the mid lane. So, are we loading? I think we are loading, guys. Here we go. He's one of the most common structure-killing heroes from the mid lane, so, you know, I can't really say it's a bad pick, but I will say it's a disappointing pick considering the rest of their draft. I want to see something a little bit crazier, but still, it is going to be a very high-damage right-click hero. It is going to offer them at least a little bit of scaling, add a little bit of minus armor from the Vengeful Spirit, and you have yourself a hero that can pack quite a wallop with a lot of defensive power behind him. He has the swap, of course. He also has that Treant Protector and the Living Armor. And Shadow Fiend does love some Living Armor. So let's see who's going to be playing what before this game really takes off. On the Shadow Shaman, it's AO. On him, we have another hero. That a chicken? What the hell? I don't know, guys. I have no clue. You guys tell me what's the deal with that. We got Fade playing the Treant Protector, currently faded from view. SRF is on the Brewmaster going up towards top, and DXM gonna give it to you on the Shadow Fiend. We got Ice on the Monkey King on the wing side. Faith Bien is playing the Darkseer. Shadow is playing his trademark TA. Blink is on the Necrophos. Sick icons, bro. And Y is on the line, and we're going to have a little bit of a squabble for this level 1 bounty rune, but you don't mess with the Treant Protector, especially when he's joined by a giant, unfriendly panda. The rune by Y, kind of a nice win there for wings, but it's going to cost Necrophos a lot of regen. This is 2-3 tango needed from the immediate start, and this is going to be a lane where VG.P are pretty much just going to run at you and try to beat you down 24/7. Necrophos may be a ranged hero, but he's not going to survive that all the time. Oh, Courier. Here comes the Monkey King. Get jumped on. Ice. He's going to snag the Courier, bounce up to the trees, and be on his way. The Shadow Fiend did not get the salve, and it is only a salve. He should have bottle gold by the time the Courier respawns again, so DXM is going to perhaps be in a slightly slower lane, but if success happens with the Treant Protector and he's able to get some living armor, then you know he doesn't really need the salve. Here comes the shackles. They already have the right clicks. Magic Missile already used, but the right clicks and the fact that Faith Bien's in the corner is going to give AO the first blood. There's the combo right there. Oh, another's kind of stuck here. Don't worry, bro. Just chicken your way out of there. Alright, he's fine. Yeah, then that's the combo, right? It's not exactly elegant. It's not exactly hard to pull off. You're just gonna run a Treant Protector in with the shackles from the Shadow Shaman. You get almost 3 seconds of beatdown time. Who could say no to that? Here we go. Shackles, look at the damage. Magic Missile's available. Fade's just right clicking away, and Faith Bien's gonna teleport immediately back into his death. That feels bad, man. This guy, Faith Bien, is usually a little bit more solid than this, but he is definitely disrespecting the power of a Shadow Shaman and the right clicks of a Treant. I mean, look at Darkseer. He has 6 armor, he has 640 HP at level 1, which is very high, plus a stout shield. You shouldn't really get 100 to 0'd like that, but he's dead. Twice now, and he has to run back to the lane, or just abandon ship. That is not good for a Darkseer. I mean, we usually see Darkseers, we occasionally see Darkseers rather, get level 3, get a couple more points in Ion Shell, then return to lane. When he returns to the lane, it's not going to be in good shape. Venge's going to be a lot more powerful. The Shadow Shaman's going to have more disables. And Treant is going to have a lot of free time to get towards that living armor mark, which is going to start to balance out this lack of salve from DXM. I mean, look at him right now. He's just fine. He had 1 shared tango. You take some spill damage harassment as the Shadow Fiend, but aside from that, the amount of damage you take from a TA is rather minimal. He is rather low, though, on souls. I mean, that's just refraction damage, and the fact that TA naturally has a good level 1 through 3 over the Shadow Fiend. Wow, that got denied. That did not look like a deny, man. Shadow Fiend with level 2 raises, though, is going to be very easily able to recover. Oh my god. Get him, Fade. Oh, I don't think he saw it. It might have been just out of range. Definitely close. SRF is going to be forced to bail out of this top lane as well. No Treant support, obviously, so he will get constantly poked at when he's himself. But, you know, Brewmaster not the fastest jungler in the world. Doesn't really have anything to facilitate his jungle. Not even an Iron Talon, but he will just get a slow, steady stream of experience and gold, along with the Darkseer in his own respective jungle. And the safe laner is going to have an absolute free time, and it will have a mid lane brawl fest. Shadow, again, should have a lasting advantage here. Bottle from the Shadow Fiend is not going to be picked up first. Actually, it's just Boots first. Interesting. Doesn't want to get jumped by any of this Monkey King shenanigans. Ice actually going to stick around this bottom lane. It's a free lane where you can just like kind of hang around in the trees or just way far back away from a Shadow Shaman. And you get yourself a little bit of experience. And Monkey King with experience, but not gold is, you know, it's a perfectly reasonable hero. Going back to the Shadow Shaman, though, again, we haven't seen a lot of this guy. You do have a lot of base damage nowadays, as far as talents are concerned. Yeah, I mean, they are going to be fairly powerful. I guess, I mean, I haven't seen them yet in this patch, so I don't really know, guys. But I'm assuming you probably get movement speed. Actually, you'd probably get experience gain and health, right? And just hope someone else on your team is going to be initiating. Shadow Shaman can do a lot of damage as well, especially if he's not poke and prod the lane, which he's not really the best at. Again, the gold standard is the Warlock. Like, is your hero at all comparable to a Warlock? And Shadow Shaman really isn't as far as the babysitting is concerned. What he does do very well, though, is just threaten for the kills. The problem arising right now for VG.P, though, is that they're just being out-CS'd. I mean, the Venge and Necrophos, the respective safe laners, are toe-to-toe with one another. TA, though, is dominating the Shadow Fiend, and everything else is coming up dire. Dire will probably see that Treant rotate in. There's a sentry already there. There's a chance that Fade just stays out of this range, though. And if he finds a Lion, this could be really bad for this guy. He is with boots, but Clap doesn't really care about that. They're going to go instead for the Necrophos. There's a Monkey King here. Nice spike onto 2. Will slow them down a little bit. Clap still lands again onto 2, but into the wrong 2. Fade has to back off. And now the Monkey King, he's up in the air. He's going to spot out the Treant Protector. Where you going, bro? He's going invis. And there's no detection. Unless he doesn't have anything left. No one has anything left. So, counter gank successful, I suppose. And this is a threatening lane for sure once the Treant Protector actually makes his rotation in. The Orb of Venom Boots build. You gotta respect it. Going for this aggro build as well. You always get Nature's Guise. Leech Seed, picked up level 2. Seen a couple of games where Treant Protector goes into the jungle and prioritizes his allies' survival. Gets the living armor, because he doesn't really need the Leech Seed. But level 3 Treant Protector is really when this lane is getting a lot easier from the Shadow Fiend. This is really hard right now when you're going up against the Templar Assassin, and she has the Sonic Traps. And a Haste Rune. Yeah, that's not exactly fun times there. Shadow can very easily get a, maybe not a solo kill on DXM, but a kill on DXM. Look at this, a big block of red up on top of the CS chart. And they're looking for a little bit more blood. Here comes the Ion Shell as well as a Lion. Wow, they really want the Shadow Fiend to die. They will get him before the TP can stick. I don't know why that TP was so long, but now AO's in a really bad spot. He's going to try to shackle. That's not going to fly, bro. Shadow, it's actually wide to sneak in the last hit there. And the Monkey King will zip away. Here comes another's TP, but that is a little bit too late. They are going to, continue the fight, actually. TA going to walk back in. Refraction's going to block the big right clicks, and he's just going to go ham. Raises will not kill him off before he gets another kill. Another won't even get that kill. But Shadow just going off, man. The rest of his team kind of abandoning him. Feels lonely, man. So, I mean, Venge force a TP in is something you kind of want to do. I mean, support Venge is obviously a thing, so once you get these extra levels, once you're accelerated a little bit, plus you have the phase boots so you can keep up to your target, a quick TP core is very, very desirable. You don't expect to swap every time if you're going up against a Venge core. But just arriving a little bit too late. Not really sure why that Shadow Shaman TP took so long. I guess someone else must have TP'd in right before that. The Treant. Did not see that, but if VG.P were actually there with their whole squad in, some sort of timely fashion, then that could have been pretty good for them. But Shadow Shaman just took way too long to arrive, and if he arrived a little bit sooner, could have just shackled up the TA and maybe could have gotten the Shadow Fiend a free passage out of there. He would have sacrificed his own life there, like someone was dying on VG.P's side. Swap back onto Ice Ice. There's no... Yeah, he didn't even have mana for a magic missile. He didn't even have mana, man. I mean, he had stick charges, I guess, but this game is actually not looking that great for VG.P. Brewmaster has his level 6. The Shadow Fiend is behind in CS by quite a nice margin. The TA is having a pretty nice time. 2-1-1, pretty good score. Now this is somewhat acceptable to the point where, unless he dies there, okay, well, he's fine. It is somewhat accessible because the whole point of VG.P's draft is to take towers. Serpent Ward's coming up pretty quickly, actually. I mean, it's not going to be the fastest level 6 in the world from a support, but it's definitely not going to be the slowest either. Once you get those Serpent Wards, you can pretty reliably take down towers, and Wings most likely will give up 1-2 tier 1s at least. Can definitely accelerate VG.P into at the very worst parity. But until that happens, they're going to be looking for a couple of aggressive kills. Ice Ice up in the trees is going to reveal another, although they do want the bigger target in the Necrophos. Split already there. Nice strike to stun too, but that's not going to help the Necrophos. He actually will stick up, drum up. They actually changed their mind and let him live for a little while longer. He's going to get another Death Pulse out and a Scythe. Do a lot of damage to another, but they can't quite kill him. They're going to lift up Y, dispel him right before the split ends. That was not clean from VG.P, but the kill's a kill. Is there a Shrine live right now? Yeah, there is, so it's not a big deal. Actually, that might be better for them. They still got the kill. They forced out a Scythe on the Necrophos. That didn't do anything, so yeah, that was quite nice, actually. That's the power of a core Venge. You can start to play that support Venge role, except you're going to be so incredibly powerful while doing so. And of course, this is happening in the meantime. AO on the bottom lane. Free to farm that one up, level 6 now, plus a lot of mana with those arcanes. And great for the hero himself. Very easily runs out of mana with the Ether Shock spam. But also great for the team, just keeping up those raises. Keeping up magic missile mana because, sometimes Vengeful Spirits run out, man. Sometimes it happens. SRF is going to be surrounded by Ion Shells with no defensive split. He's going to blind Ice Ice. He has a little bit of help here in the Venge. Swap out on the Brew, but the Darks are giving chase. The Ion Shell will just get the kill before the raises can land. A close kill, but still a 2-for-1 in favor of VG.P. And again, it's another to come in huge with that core Venge. Swap is just one of the most broken spells in the game. Like, it doesn't really seem like it, because usually Venges don't have a higher level. But forced movement, that whole thing of like being able to force enemies' movement, force stabs, pudge hook, these are all ridiculous tools. I'm not sure if I like. Okay, now the tower's already weak. I was gonna say like using Surf Ward just on a random tier 1 tower like this, it's kind of risky. But he was already pretty much done with that tower. It was pretty much locked up. Easy gold for AO, and now this is where the Shadow Shaman kicks into full gear. You want to get these Serpent Wards and make sure that as soon as they come back online, you drop them for an objective. It doesn't even have to be an objective that you take. It has to be an objective that you try for. You can drop it in the Roche Pit, try to go for him, and with the Venge and the Shadow Fiend, that's a definite possibility. 2 tier 1s still stand, so AO, he has his work cut out for him. Similarly as the Brewmaster, he is not really at his Blink Dagger yet, but he has Split, so he is fight ready. Another is spending a lot of time off the lane farming. And as long as he's able to consistently get kills and assists for the team, then I think the creep just saw him. That was not subtle at all. As long as he's able to get kills consistently, then that should be fine. But in this downtime where he's kind of playing as support, really, really awkward. I mean, they are sharing love with the Tree and Protector now in the bottom lane, but you really do want to have a substantial amount of farm on this Vengeful Spirit. And he's spent, what, at least a minute now just wandering the map, not really doing a hell of a lot. Although there's another swap here. Ice is going to get waved. Swap back and get stun off, but I don't think there's any way for him to get out of here. No. Magic Missile maxed out at this point. Does a hefty chunk of damage. And there's a double damager on Shadow Fiend as well, as if that was even necessary. Wings are looking for this defense, but DXM with this much damage is really tough to deal with. VG.P going to cut some trees, looking for Fade. A little bit off the mark. They still spike him, but they don't know about that. Off on the side, I don't know what Blink is doing. Walks right in. Hey guys, what's going on? Dead. So now the tower is like extra free with an extra Necrophos. Serpent Wards are going to be coming up. They could even push for tier 2s, honestly. A tower deny will be huge here for Wings. Not quite. Alright, they get the tier 1. They're going to drop Serpent Wards for Roche. And VG.P are playing this draft pretty much according to the textbook of Dota, guys. If you have such an impactful ultimate like Serpent Wards, you gotta be using it every single time it's up. And yeah, the damage on the Roshan is pretty substantial. Here comes Fade. Overgrowth is not up. He will slow down the Templar Assassin. Serpent Wards should seal the deal here on Roshan. Is going to run interference. VG.P going to run right into his own doom. It looks like so much burst damage. Blink's going to wander in. Muju's Monkey King's command going to go down as well. Finger Death in the pit. Aegis on the deck. Another's going to swap in to grab it. What a play from the Venge. Is going to lose it immediately to the Scythe. But everyone from Wings pretty healthy. That Monkey King ultimate absolutely backbreaking. Now the Brewmaster, he is out of ultimate, but Shadow is pretty drunk right now. Go home, Templar Assassin. I'm going to take your keys. She should be able to get that kill. Off in the Roche Pit, though, another. He's fighting in the Serpent Wards. Exactly what you want to be doing, and will get another kill on Blink, who I think just respawned, teleported in, and then died again. Brewmaster, 3 points in Drunken Brawler, plus that Drunken Haze, and Templar Assassin. She does not hold her liquor well. Everyone knows that, guys. The TA is once again going to feel the power of mischance, and of course that was I don't think that was even with living armor. The end result is that VG.P, they do lose a couple of heroes to the Wing side, but they do gain, I would say, just as much with the heroes that they kill off, including the Roshan gold, which I think the Serpent Wards did take out Roche. The Radiant, yeah, took out Roche. So VG.P should be pretty happy with how that went. The most important thing for VG.P right now is that they do not stop. Wings are making a couple of mistakes. That Necrophos is positioning really off. He feels tanky, and he is pretty durable, but when that many heroes are beating down on you, it doesn't matter how much health you have. Oh, Fade is going to run to a couple of heroes right now, and 2-shot by the fresh Deso of Shadow. Wrecked, son. Pretty gruesome. Mech is on the Darkseer. VG.P's victory in these team fights is going to be a little more difficult moving forward. But they still have to stick to the plan. With this type of draft, there really is no backup plan. You gotta keep going. Losing a Treant is not a big deal. He knows now that there's a sentry in that area. And they'll just burst down the creep wave and start demolishing the structures. They do not need Serpent Wards for this. Just Shadow Fiend damage should be enough. I dare say dropping Serpent Wards should be a mistake here. Yeah, you gotta look for the tier 2s. They will lose a tower of VG.P, and they're converging, kind of clean this situation up. The Wings split pushing a little bit, rather early for split push, 16 minutes, but whatever works. Will get themselves one tower guaranteed, another with a lot of extra damage for the future. VG.P, they can't all in towers. They have a lot of push, but they don't have like a Drow Ranger. Then they could all in and just say, okay, Wings, you want to race? We'll race. Shadow Shaman doesn't race very well. He can take down one structure. And if that's a tier 3, then yeah, you gotta be careful if you're Wings, but if it's a tier 2, you can let that one fall. They will deploy the Serpent Wards, and for Wings, I don't know how they get in here. Another's gonna drum in, looking for a swap. He gets it onto the Necrophos. Magic Missile's gonna land. He's gonna get nuked to all hell. They do also catch the Lion with the Overgrowth. Great vacuum, no wall though. Awkward from VG.P. Not quite at that level, so they do sacrifice the Necrophos for the up-team time. Once again, Templar Assassin, drunk off her ass, is going to arrive. Looking for a deny? Not quite. DXM has enough damage to get it done. This game was a part-time job. This is going to be another tower to fall. Only first tier 2, but man, that's what I said about this draft from VG.P. They pretty much just have to keep on getting those structures. That early game CS deficit, where did it go? It's gone now. I think they're probably at parity. No, they're actually ahead. in gold. Now, it is kind of troubling because they are vastly ahead in towers, but not vastly ahead in tower gold. So, you know, they are going to have to worry about that. Oh, Fade dusted up, but this is kind of a bait here. Fade has backup right around the corner. Monkey King got you baited. You got stunned up right in the middle of his ultimate, and now I don't know what you do with Monkey King. Another big stun. TA's coming in, but it's a little bit too slow. Brewmaster enjoyed that one, you could tell. Here's a Blink Dagger, and we have triple Midases coming up. I think there's a Midas on the... Yeah, there's one here, there's another here, there's another here. So, yeah, I mean, that's your backup plan, I guess. Get gold that makes more gold. Turn tower gold into Midases. Now, contesting wings in the late game is definitely not what VG.P want to do. So I think this is somewhat risky. But they are doing pretty well with it so far. Again, they are just dominating these exchanges, just finding heroes that are kind of carelessly out of position. This drum pickup, actually, of the Venge is doing some serious work. Just add extra movement speed with the phase boots. I don't know exactly how fast you get, but it's definitely fast enough to swap someone before they could really react. Even swapping a quote-unquote tanky hero like Necrophos, tough to deal with. Ice. Gonna stun up too, and they both nuke down AO. Ripperino. The Brewmaster does jump in the back in the meantime, but he's kind of all alone right now, so the damage he does is just going to be him. Swap back into Ice. Trying to bring him out of a circle. Not quite there. Can they bring him down and cancel the ultimate? Overgrowth is great onto 4, but between the wall and the Monkey King ultimate, I don't think VG.P want to fight here. Finger Death onto the Shadow Fiend. He will get scythed down, and Shadow's going to chase for a little bit more. Another is on his way out. Another Sonic Trap. A Surge coming in. Another cannot fight this. He'll Magic Missile and try to run. There's no tower here. Another stick to the dome, and he will fall as well. And that is going to be quite the blunder from VG.P. I like the play, at least in theory. Swap the Monkey King out of his circle and cancel it. At the same time, you probably get the Monkey King kill, but a little bit off the mark there. And VG.P sticking a little bit too close to that circle of death. It'll be bad times for them, and these are fights that they cannot afford to lose. They need to consistently take down towers. They need to always be on the aggressive. As soon as VG.P are on the defensive, they're in a bad spot. Shadow's gonna blink in, but he is drunk. Can't do a lot of damage there, TA, especially when you get walloped by level 4 Nature's Guys. Womp. That'll show her. Get her again. No, he just wants Hannah Midas value, I think. They're actually gonna give chase. There's no overgrowth here on Fade, so you can't stop them. Yeah. The Wings with the element of surprise. Stop VG.P's push. At least their aggressive play once. Now, these hands will start to accelerate VG.P. The experience gain hit on the latest patch is actually going to hurt pretty bad. And Shadow Shaman really does want that experience. No maxed out Hex just yet. Just wants the strength growth per level. Just so he can maybe get 3-shot instead of 2-shot. Lofty aspirations for the Shadow Fiend. Shadow Shaman. But they'll get into a position now. Wings are not in a position to ambush. And Serpent Wards will be deployed. Should be a pretty easy structure here. Although there is a vacuum wall. There is a Monkey King ultimate. VG.P are in a really defensive position right now. Kind of ready to retreat up the stairs behind the Serpent Wards. Great spot for them to be, although Ice swap back onto the Necrophos. Shackles is there, but immediately canceled. Great vacuum wall. Overgrowth's gonna cancel a lot of damage, but the Monkey King ultimate's still gonna go down, and everyone from VG.P, they're stuck. Scythe down onto the Brewmaster. No ult from him. DXM's doing a lot of damage. They'll take down the Monkey King, but Shadow's running around at full HP. She'll take down the Shadow Fiend, and that'll be a 3-for-1 at least. And they're gonna try to teleport himself out of there. There's no cancels here on the Necrophos, no hexes in time. The Venge will get out of there, but Wings, once again, crushing VG.P in their team fight. And crucially, never mind, I thought they saved the tower. Weren't able to save the tower. Who got it? AO got the tower. No surprise there. It's Shadow Shaman after all. So VG.P get their tower, but lose a team fight. That is going to be disgustingly in favor of Wings. I don't know how the Monkey King's always doing it, but he's always getting into the middle with that ultimate and just destroying everyone on VG.P. Does so much extra damage, especially when you have the vacuum wall. Like, that combo is actually ridiculous. I didn't expect it to land as consistently as it is, but hey, you're landing it, it's working. No one's complaining about that. Shadow's still on top of the net worth chart. Definitely living up to her name. A Blink Dagger, yeah, almost up on the Lion. Would be huge to keep consistent with that element of surprise. Now, VG.P, they saw that one coming a mile away. They knew there was a team fight incoming, but their positioning just a little bit off. Group up like that, you're asking for trouble. They really need to lean on the fact that they have this core Venge in a level 2 swap. Catch the enemy off guard with that element of surprise, swap out on a random hero, as they have been doing for a good portion of this game. You can't do it all the time, though. Ice sees all. Fade almost chopping down the right tree. He's gonna start deforesting. Ayo. Almost level 2 Serpent Wards. Tier 2 on the bottom lane. Still alive. It's an objective they can take, but Wings should have a gold lead, and they do. Despite being down in towers. This is not looking like a great game for VG.P. They are on a hard clock. I mentioned earlier, this is a game where they have to have it locked up by 20 minutes. Not necessarily won by then, but in a dominant position. And they are not there. The Hand of Midas builds will give them a little bit of leeway to work with. But still, they don't want to let this game get too late, even with these Midases. Their heroes are just not that well equipped for it, compared to what Wings have. Oh, they found Shadow. Oh, BKB TP. For an Overgrowth, a 10-second BKB charge is pretty nice. Fade's gonna be pretty happy about that. Make the fights a little bit easier. They're gonna try to go for Monkey King, but he's Monkey King. Lol. Can't ever kill him. VG.P. Is it really time for them to switch gears? They're making no aggressive moves right now. This is not a game plan, a plan B they really want to be going towards right now. I can't help but feel that if they didn't go for, what, like 6,000 gold worth of Midases, which do very little for you in these fights, they could have been in a better spot. Like, let's just say Treant has a Blink Dagger, he can, yeah, you know, Wukong's command goes down, he could be over here, ready to blink Overgrowth instead of just in the middle of everything. Brewmaster already has his Blink, so he doesn't really need a hell of a lot extra, but you know, Shadow Shaman, he has Blink as well. He's going to get jumped, though. Bam! I don't know if this was necessary. That's a little bit, yeah, okay, Faith Bien. He just really wants that Shadow Shaman illusion. You know, you got to do some damage, guys. Shadow's going to go to town on Roshan. They have not that much vision in the Dire. They have a Sonic Trap off to the side. They'll know that the Brewmaster's trying to jump in. This is perfect for the Brew. He's going to jump in. No clap. Just split onto Faith Bien. That's not the play. Now the Aegis is going to be claimed by Shadow. This is not a fight VG.P want to go into right now. Shadow's going to pop BKB. Find no targets. Really awkward for her. But still, they do blow the Brewmaster ultimate. They do still see the little panda, and can they kill him off? Blink is going to be a nice spike attempt. They will still get the Hex off. Overgrowth is great, and they have a Serpent Ward trap. With the damage being done, this is going to be at least one kill on the Lion. Shadow's still stuck, but he's just turning around and right-clicking away. He's surrounded and abandoned, though, and he's going to be dropped. I'm not sure if TA can get out of here. Blink, no, there's a Hex. You don't outrace a Hex. That is going to be a huge victory for VG.P, as Wings go a little bit too far and get hit with the nice combo. You don't expect the Overgrowth into Serpent Ward trap, that's for sure. Now, VG.P win that one. That was also a extremely messy fight where there was questionable wall usage beforehand. No Monkey King ultimate, no Scythe used. Wings were only kind of half in that fight. And it is going to be really nice for VG.P, don't get me wrong, but as far as replicating that, not sure if that's in the cards. Shadow Fiend is pretty reasonably farmed. Venge is still neck and neck with the Necrophos. But Necrophos is almost at that level 3 Scythe. A couple of Scythes here and there, and VG.P are suddenly way off their timings. Haven't really been happening in such a way where Wings are going to be happy with it. I mean, this Necrophos has gone for a very kind of basic item build, let's say. And his positioning has been average. Let's just say that. But Scythe is now up. Get that fancy Reaper Scythe going. But VG.P seems like... sure. That'll show them. Seems like they do want to lean on these Midases pretty hard. Again, it will give them, in theory, a gold lead. But their heroes are, even with gold, not exactly well equipped to deal with the enemy. Oh, backing back! You see the little leech seed thing? You know there's someone there. Oh, and they got baited! They thought there was just a Darkseer though. They were wrong. How do they not have detection? Bro, what year is it that you don't have detection? Monkey King has it? He's like, guys, I have it. Wait for me. I don't know why this lion doesn't have it. He now does. They're just gonna drop a million sentries, have dust everywhere. But it's too late. Treant Protector's still alive, still with that blink overgrowth. Ice up in the trees. They will slow down the Brewmaster. Hit him with the stick. Jump in. He will get the split off, though. And now the fight's going to start pretty well for VG.P. Big nice overgrowth onto 5 heroes. Where's the focus fire? They land a Serpent Ward in the back along with... Well, no, Requiem, actually. It was canceled? I thought I heard it. Now they're still getting the swap back. Scythe onto him, though, is going to bring him down 75 seconds down. And they will get away from the Wukong's command. This is kind of great for them. Here comes the Requiem from DXM doing a lot of damage. Monkey King's right on his ass, doing a lot of damage himself. And TA's in the back, right-clicking freely. It's SRF. And yeah, he's just going to try his best, but it's an ultra kill for Shadow. Wings, even without that impact of the Monkey King, land a Finger of Death Scythe combo onto the enemy Venge. And that is something you cannot come back from. The way you counter that is you have Magic Immunity beforehand. Clearly not available. A 5-0 in favor of Wings. Even with these overgrowths, which from the Treant Protector have been on point, it just seems like Wings are a little bit too spread out for VG.P to realistically focus them. Guardian Greaves as well from Faith BN, the heals from the Death Necrophos rather, Death Pulses. A lot of extra sustain, and VG.P not with enough damage. If you get Midases and then immediately fight, usually you can take those fights because the investment hasn't hit you yet. But the worst time to fight with Midases is like 3 minutes after you pick it up, where you could have had another bigger item, and instead you have a useless gold tool. It's kind of turning out like that right now. Shadow's going to BKB. So he has a free blink out. Ice not in a great spot. They do get a vacuum back onto 3 heroes. Blow up the Monkey King. Faith Bien slowed down, swapped back in. Where's the Shackles? AO is going to Hex 1. Really wants the Lions. I mean, got him. Can they also get this Darkseer? No, I'm pretty sure that was just wrong. Tried to get 2, but wasn't quite in range for Hex, Lion, Shackle, the Darkseer. If he jumps in and just hexes the Darkseer, I'm pretty sure they should kill him. The Wings go in pretty aggressively. No sustained damage on the Raxes. It's melee, it'll heal. It's got Treant Protector, it'll heal doubly fast. But they do find a Necrophos in the middle of nowhere. Let's see how much damage they're able to do. DXM's thinking about a couple of raises. They get the Magic Missile, and they will, well, be held up a little bit, but finally get the kill. VG.P are still striking back. A couple of times here and there, but it seems like every single time, when it counts, they're not winning team fights. Now, Wings are playing pretty fast and loose as well. Both sides are, really. A lot of pretty clear mistakes are being made, position-wise, not carrying detection-wise. But it does seem like Wings are getting their act together whenever there's a team fight, especially this TA. Always in the back, doesn't really have much to fear. The only thing she really has to fear is Drunken Haze, and that's not going to kill her. She has BKB as well and Manta Style, so getting rid of those effects, at least a possibility now for Shadow. This game is actually going to go longer. The Wings don't have a decisive enough lead where they're going to feel comfortable forcing these objectives. They want to go for Roche, whenever that's going to be back up. Until then, they're going to be farming slightly slower than VG.P. So sitting back and doing nothing is somewhat risky. I do like this play, though. Smoke up and look for some poor sucker. There is a Treant Protector behind them. But yeah, it looks like the Treant did actually see a couple of targets. So they know that the vast majority of wings are somewhere in this area. Do wings care, though? They can just walk up. Just look in their axes. They can back up and just go for that Treant, who killed a couple of creeps and then is going to run away. Creep cutting. Yeah, I don't think there's any targets here. Scan is going to be empty, but the smoke runs out. Okay. That's a way to do it. Treant gets back to base. The wings are still going to go for an offensive move. Again, as soon as VG.P's draft is put on the defensive, they're already in a disadvantageous position. The fact that Shadow is this far means that the towers will not last long. Somehow Necrophos gets the last hit. I don't know, it happens. Shadow's kind of left out to dry here. A swap on the TA right then could have been an easy kill. Or at least a charge. But the tower count is now even. And VG.P are not where they want to be. They don't have map control enough to go for Roche. They have Serpent Wards, level 2 that they're just sitting on. They have been sitting on them for a long time now. And Wings, they know that they have the map control. Psionic traps absolutely everywhere. I do want to see a gem. There we go. A gem on Faith BN. A gem we picked up on the Treant as well, but it will be very nice to get rid of these traps. Just seems like Wings have the more luxury to wander where they please. So the vision that they take off the board will be easier to get to. Tower kind of pushed, but I'm pretty sure they're just going to switch gears and go for Roche. Bounce out of there. They're going to back off. They're not heading towards Roche. They're going to smoke up and kind of bait VG.P into Roche. Is that the play? They want to win a team fight, take Roche, and then win the game. That's what this play is. Smoke is there from VG.P, but Wings, they know exactly what timing Roche is up. They see it with those traps. They want to catch VG.P, get in their heads. The angle is pretty good from Blink. He's going to find a couple of targets here. It's SRF. He's going to jump right in. BKB pops up on another. Wall is down right in the middle of everything, though. Y is going to get dropped first thing, but they will also lose their Brewmaster. There will be no split here. Great fact. Great Wukong's command, and everyone else from VG.P, they're going to scatter to the winds. Serpent Wards will be farmed up by the Templar Assassin. It is only going to be 2 for 1, but that is still a win for the Wings gaming side, even though they don't have their ultimates. They have a Templar Assassin. They have a Scythe. Well, now. They will be just fine to go back into this Roche pit. This is not something that VG.P can touch. And the base defense is also going to be pretty rough. I mean, the good thing for them is that the Brewmaster didn't use his split, right? So you will have that again when Wings are knocking at your front door. But the front door can wait. Got to go for the side door first in this top tier 2. You gotta take down all the enemy doors before you go in for the front, guys. Obviously.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Easiest tier 2 of their life. Wall 35. Monkeys 45. And you're not gonna go in with that. So yeah, Wings are probably just gonna wait out this Aegis a little bit. Get a little bit more gold, lock down the map. Look for someone on VG.P to get a little bit dumb. Most likely it's going to be the Treant Protector to get caught, just scouting. He did also lose his gem. Ideally you want your gem on the Brewmaster. Brewmaster got obliterated in that fight. There should be 2 gems for Wings, or yeah, 2 gems are in favor of Wings. VG.P are working blind, locked in their base. This is not a winning position for the Radiant. Now we have Basher BKB on the Monkey King. Seen faster Bashers before, but man, his ultimate is already doing its job. Don't need to bash people. It's kind of just an extra luxury. Necrophosis Cheese, he even has drums in his backpack. It's not really the most expensive item in the game, but man, guy is pretty farmed with kind of low tier items, granted. Not like he needs to have shiny Daedalus or Butterfly or anything like that. That's Shadow's domain. Shadow's got that covered. Crimson Guardian Greaves. Yeah, this is Wings pretty much as ready as they'll ever be for a game-ending play. The only thing they're really lacking is that pick-off. And again, Treant Protector is going to be the one to die if anyone does die. Just playing cute with the creep wave up top. But VG.P, they're locked in their base. They're not getting any farm except for their Midases. And now Shadow wants in. He has the extra refraction charges. He's going to get swapped immediately back into a Hex. Perfect timing there. Vacuum coming in. It's going to land on 3-4 heroes with the wall there and the Wukong's command. They're all going to be driven away immediately. Scythe goes off the fade. They'll take down the Treant Protector and the Brewmaster both, who has no buyback. Look at all the monkeys. They all get Crimson Guard because that is how it works, apparently. This set of Raxes is down. Scythe in 10 seconds. OS Frog Scythe. And Wings, well, they barely take any damage. They have an Aegis. They have a double life and a cheese. Nice living armor, bro. Not going to do a hell of a lot. Fade does not have his ultimate either, so I don't know what this Treant Protector can do despite being invis. Cut down Ice, perhaps? Gonna miss the tree again. There's another Scythe here, and they're gonna jump in straight for another. He's gonna get a lot of distance away. Scythe will not kill, but it will make him go all the way back to the fountain. Finger of Death will kill off the Shadow Shaman. DXM is left alone. That's good game. Well played from SRF. You gotta hand it to VG.P. I liked their creativity with this draft, busting out something a little bit old school, going for this timing push based lineup. But again, if you don't win by 20, you're most likely going to lose. I really don't like that Midas decision, especially like to that scale. I think if you're a Brewmaster, a Treant, then situationally getting a Midas, depending on whether or not you win a team fight or get a lucky kill spree to end on the enemy side. If you get like a suddenly 2,000 gold chunk of change, then sure, go for Midas. But going that deep into the Midases just stops your game plan too much, I think. Still, they weren't even in a great spot when they did pick up the Midases. Guys, this is only game 1. We have a best of 2 between these two teams, so hopefully, gonna have some craziness in the next game. I'm Mike Luris, gonna be back in just a bit.